Senator Roberts.
Thank you. I wish to thank Senator Lambie for raising this important issue, yet I submit Senator Lambie may have become a little confused as to what's really going on in Australia. There are two classes in a class war now, the political class from the Uni Party versus the rest of us, everyday Australians. There are plenty of things going wrong in this Labor government's attempts at governing this country. Labor believes in promoting wealth equality. So did Karl Marx. But the way they go about it is as if they've been watching some old videos of the Marx brothers. It's ludicrous. They're destroying wealth. Labor's version of promoting wealth equality is to ensure that in the end, most Australians will be poor. The exceptions will be Labor Party bosses, union bosses, and the political elite, including those making a living from the Aboriginal industry, black and white Aboriginal industry, and those who profited from the COVID-19 industry fraud. Labor are the big achievers in driving inflation up. 4% now, back to 4%. It's got a 4 in front of it. As of today, pushing policies that make even the cost of living out of reach for many Australians and ensuring that energy costs keep rising by trying to force us to rely on unreliable renewables like wind and solar that are driving the cost of electricity skyrocketing. Several years ago, when we were all locked up by governments, pandering to drug companies during the COVID response, the Labor state governments combined with the federal government to print money, huge amounts of money, with no basis in a feeble attempt to buy us out of strife that was completely government-created. Now we've got the inflation. Look at the thousands who lost their jobs, became vaccine injured, and the billions of dollars that were lost to the Australian economy. In the meantime, the political elites have given themselves pay rises ahead of inflation rises and now want to pay a new Governor-General a pay rise of 43%. So how much of a pay rise do everyday Australians get? Stuff all, as our disposable incomes go backwards by 5% under this government. Every major problem that Australians face today has stemmed from the decisions made in this building. Labor and the Coalition, the Uni Party, still refuse to make decisions that are evidence-based, and instead they govern by knee-jerk reaction or brain-snap instant decision-making. To look good, not do good. How nice it would be if the government decided to actually govern for Australians, based on data and facts, not spin and looking after mates. As I said, instead of trying to look good, let's do good. And as for affordable housing, how many houses have been built using the much-touted Housing Future Fund? Wait for it. What's that? No, zero, zilch, nada, zip. Much the same as the value of Labor promises. Zero, zilch, nada, zip. We still have to see workable policy from either of the Uni Party to solve the housing crisis that plagues Australians, including those Australians earning what historically would have been considered reasonable incomes. Housing problems caused by excess immigration, foreign ownership, inflation, COVID restrictions, government restrictions eroding the supply of houses, energy prices. The problems in education in Australia stem from the warped curriculums of schools, starting from teaching primary school students about the ins and outs of transsexual practices to slanted views of Australian history that try to rewrite the facts as recorded at the time of writing by explorers and truth-telling observers of the time. And many in our society now want to castrate children and warp children's minds. Our high schools and universities perpetuate the mistruths and promote political views that our European immigrants immediately recognise as communist, totalitarian, extremist views, reminiscent of the histories of Nazi Germany and the dark days of Stalin. Class struggles? The class struggles that I see in Australia relate to the thuggish actions of some extremist union bosses, such as the CFMEU, MEU in the Hunter Valley and Central Queensland, who refuse to actually represent their worker members and steal their wages in secret dirty deals. As a servant to the people of Queensland and Australia, I agree this government is failing on multiple levels of policy creation and implementation because it does not make decisions based on data and facts. The losers are Australians, young and old, and our future generations. Today's class struggle, as I started this speech saying, today's class struggle is between the political class, the Uni Party pushing globalist agendas, and everyday Australians, real Australians. Thank you.